You ever do something so stupid, so unbelievably dumb, that you feel it crawling up your spine the second it starts? That's what this was. It happened just before Halloween last year in a little town outside Winnipeg. 4 friends, Jake, Tyler, Olivia, and Ryan. All seniors, all bored, and all thinking they were invincible. They weren't bad kids, just reckless. The kind that wanted one crazy story before graduation. Just one. And they got it. Ryan had just bought a new phone top of the line with some crazy night vision camera. He wanted to shoot a spooky video for TikTok, something creepy, something real. Tyler, the loud one of the group, laughed and said, "We should hit up Greenridge." That name stopped the conversation cold. Greenridge Cemetery. It sat on the far edge of town, past the industrial lots and railroad tracks, where the road turned to gravel and then to dust. You didn't just go to Greenridge. Everyone knew that. Not because of some official rule, because of the stories. Whispers, warnings, things half heard growing up. People said you could hear voices there at night. Some said shadows moved behind the gravestones. Others claimed something older lived in the trees. Jake laughed it off. Seriously? It's just a graveyard. Dead people. They're not going anywhere. Tyler grinned. So you're in? Ryan was already pulling up the GPS. Olivia hesitated. Guys, maybe not tonight. Something feels off. Jake put a hand on her shoulder. Liv, it's a field of rocks and names. Nothing's gonna happen. So they went. Tyler's beat-up SUV roared to life. The heater barely worked and the back doors didn't open from the inside, but none of them cared. They were riding on adrenaline and teenage confidence. They drove past the last streetlight in town and onto the old gravel road. Trees pressed in from both sides like they didn't want them there. Olivia stared out the window, chewing her thumbnail. Ryan was already recording. He aimed the phone out the windshield like he was filming a found footage movie. "You guys ready to meet some ghosts?" he said. Nobody answered. The road narrowed. The trees got thicker. Then, out of nowhere, they saw it. A rusted iron archway with the words Greenridge 1871 barely legible across the top. The gate was hanging off one hinge, creaking in the wind even though there wasn't any. Tyler parked just outside the entrance. Sun had nearly set. The last bit of orange light disappeared behind the treetops as they got out. Cold air hit them fast, too cold for fall. It wasn't wind either. It felt still, like the whole place was holding its breath. "Whoa," Ryan whispered. He turned the camera on himself. "All right, we're here at Greenridge Cemetery. You guys ready for some haunted history?" Jake rolled his eyes. "Just don't fall into a hole or something." They stepped inside. The cemetery didn't look like much from the road, but once you were in, it stretched on forever. Rows of headstones, most of them crooked or broken, scattered among tall grass and weeds. Some stones were so old the names were worn away. Others had been taken over by moss and vines, like the earth was trying to forget the people buried beneath. Creepy enough. "For you?" Tyler asked, nudging Olivia. She didn't laugh. She was looking at a small statue by one of the graves, a little angel with a cracked face. Its eyes were missing. The whole thing looked like it had been clawed at. "Don't touch anything," she said quietly. Tyler shrugged. "Relax. We'll film a few clips, tell a fake ghost story, and bounce." But none of them were really relaxed. Not anymore. Ryan was trying to shoot a pan across a row of graves when his phone started glitching. The screen flickered white for a second, then black, then came back on. Ew? That's weird, Jake laughed. It's cheap junk already? No. It's not. This is a brand new phone. The camera glitched again. Static across the screen, like an old TV losing signal. Tyler tried to play it off. Too many spirits in the air, man. But Olivia was staring at something just off the path. Did you hear that? Jake stopped. Hear what? She pointed to the trees on the left side of the cemetery. I swear I heard ... whispering. They all went quiet. There was a sound, faint, just outside the flashlight beams. Like someone talking just under their breath. Too soft to understand, but close. Probably the wind, Tyler said, not sounding convinced. Then Jake froze. He saw it, just for a second. Something moved behind one of the gravestones about 20 feet away. A shape. A face. Pale. Watching. Then gone. What was that? He said, voice sharp. Ryan turned, aiming the camera where Jake was pointing. Nothing. But when they looked at the recording, there was something. Just a few seconds of footage, almost too dark to see, but there it was. A shape, standing at the end of the path, still, facing them. And then gone. Ryan's voice was quiet. There was no one behind us. They all stood there in the silence. The only sound was the crunch of leaves beneath their shoes and the low hum of wind that wasn't there a minute ago. Jake swallowed. Let's not stay long. Olivia didn't say a word. Ryan was already checking the camera again. Tyler looked around, suddenly unsure of how far they were from the car. It had only been a few minutes since they entered Greenridge, but it already felt like they'd been there too long. Asterisk, they should have left the second they saw the figure, but they didn't. They kept walking, deeper into Greenridge Cemetery, like they were pulled forward by something invisible. Like the graveyard had quietly locked the gate behind them. Ryan stayed glued to his phone, reviewing that clip, the one where the figure appeared for just a second behind them. He kept pausing and replaying it, trying to convince himself it was a trick of the light. But every time, it was there, still, facing them. Pale face. Black suit, unmoving. Could be a statue, he muttered. Or maybe a hiker, I don't know. Double quotes. Jake kept scanning the trees. No way. I saw a duck behind a gravestone. What kind of statue moves? Olivia said, voice tight. Her flashlight trembled slightly in her hand. I told you this place feels wrong. Tyler tried to laugh it off, but even he sounded uncertain. We're fine. Just a weird camera glitch. Come on, let's check out the old section, then get out of here. They walked further in. The cemetery changed. The grass got taller, the stones more crooked, like nobody had been here in decades. Some markers were nothing more than jagged rocks, initials barely etched into them. Others leaned at odd angles, like they were trying to get away. Then Olivia stopped. Shh, she whispered. They froze. There it was again. Whispering. Soft, just ahead, coming from between the graves. Not a voice. Voices, dozens, maybe more, not loud, not angry, just murmuring. Like a crowd far away, only there was no one around. No roads, no houses, just old bones and broken stones. Jake swung his flashlight toward the sound. Who's there? No answer. Ryan lifted his phone to record, but the screen went white again. Then green. Then black dot, it reset itself. What the hell is going on with my phone? He hissed. It's brand new. Something doesn't want us filming, Olivia said flatly. She wasn't being sarcastic. She was scared now, and it was written all over her face. Jake tried to stay calm, but the hair on his neck was standing straight up. Okay, let's just head back. We saw what we needed. We got the shot. They turned around and started walking. Fast. That's when Ryan said something strange. Wait, was that statue always there? They all turned. It was standing halfway down the path they just walked. A tall stone figure they hadn't noticed before. It looked like an angel, but something was off. The wings were cracked, the arms stretched out too far, and the head was tilted unnaturally to the side like it was watching them. I don't remember that, Olivia whispered. Maybe we missed it? Jake offered, but even he didn't believe. Then the whispering started again, this time closer. The sound wrapped around them like smoke. Ryan started recording again, but his phone immediately glitched. Then it died. Just powered off, even though it was fully charged. Okay, screw this, Tyler snapped. We're out now. They broke into a fast walk, nearly a jog. The narrow paths between graves twisted and split like a maze. Trees pressed in tighter, taller, like they were closing off the sky. Jake glanced to his left and stopped. There was a shadow standing between two headstones, just 10 feet away, not moving. Just there. He blinked and it was gone. He turned to call for the others, but then something even worse happened. He saw his own breath. It wasn't cold before. Now it was freezing. Guys? He said, turning in a slow circle. They were right behind him a second ago. But now the path was empty. Dead quiet. No voices. No footsteps. Just the wind whistling through the graves. Guys! A branch snapped somewhere to his right. Jake bolted. Sprinted down the main path, heart pounding in his ears. His flashlight jittered in his grip, the beam bouncing wildly. Every time he passed a headstone, he felt like something was watching from behind it. Something just waiting for him to stop running. Then he heard Tyler shouting in the distance. He followed the voice, tearing through vines and underbrush until he crashed into the others. Rand's face was pale. Where did you go? I didn't go anywhere, Jake gasped. You all disappeared. Olivia's lips were trembling. Something's wrong with this place. It's changing, like we're being led in circles. Tyler didn't argue. We're finding the car now. They turned back down what they thought was the path. But now it felt unfamiliar. Graves they hadn't passed before. Statues that weren't there 5 minutes ago. One of them looked like the twisted angel, only now it had no face. Just a smooth stone surface. Like it had turned to watch something and never turned back. They moved faster. The whispering had stopped, but that didn't feel like a good thing. It felt like something was waiting. Then, just when they thought they were close to the gate, they saw it. A fresh grave. Right in the middle of the path. Jake stopped cold. The earth around it was disturbed, uneven, like someone had just climbed out of it. And in the dirt drag marks, long, deep, heading off into the dark. No name on the marker. Just a smooth stone like the one that had been watching them. Olivia let out a small, broken sound. That wasn't there before. It couldn't be. Ryan stepped closer, phone still dead in his hand. There's no coffin. And then he dropped the phone. The sound of it clattering on the stones was the loudest thing they'd heard in 10 minutes. Jake whispered, "Let's go." They didn't run. They couldn't run. It felt like the ground would grab them if they did, so they walked, fast and silent, following Tyler's flickering flashlight toward where the car was supposed to be. But as they moved, one horrifying thought took root in Jake's mind, and it wouldn't leave. What if they weren't in Greenridge anymore? What if they'd never really left the path where they first saw the figure? And what if something ... followed them? Asterisk, they didn't speak much as they kept moving. No more jokes, no more filming. Just flashlights bobbing in the dark and the sound of their footsteps crunching dead leaves. Something was wrong with the cemetery. Not just creepy. Wrong. The kind of wrong your body feels before your brain can explain it. Like the place was shifting around them. Paths that didn't lead back the way they came. Headstones that looked different. Like they were watching. Olivia gripped Jake's sleeve as they walked. Her flashlight beam shook with every step. "Do you smell that?" she whispered. Jake sniffed. "What?" "Dirt," she said. "Fresh dirt." They stopped. Tyler turned his light ahead and froze. About 20 feet away, the path ended in a jagged, open hole. A grave. Freshly collapsed in on itself. A mound of dirt sat beside it like it had been dug from underneath. Not like someone had opened it, but like something had clawed its way out. "What the hell?" Ryan muttered, stepping forward carefully. The edges of the pit were sharp, uneven, like the earth had been yanked away in a hurry. Jake squatted near the edge and shined his flashlight down. There was no coffin, no wood, no lining, just a dark, gaping pit that went too deep for comfort. But what made his stomach turn were the scratches along the inside walls of the grave. Long, frantic lines, dozens of them carved deep into the dirt, like fingers or claws, trying to get out. Jake stepped back fast. Something was buried alive. Olivia looked like she might be sick, or something else was buried and it got out. Ryan's voice cracked. This has to be a prank, right? Like a Halloween setup?" "No one's out here," Tyler snapped. "You really think someone came out here just to screw with us? In the middle of nowhere? Then who the hell was that guy in the video?" Ryan said. They all fell quiet. That's when the temperature dropped again. Fast, enough to make their breath visible in front of their faces. And then came the sound, a dragging noise. Somewhere behind them, slow, like something heavy being pulled across the ground. Tyler whipped around. His flashlight flickered, then died. Just like Ryan's phone. Jake grabbed Olivia's hand and pulled her back. "Move, now." They took off down the path, stumbling, their lights barely showing more than a few feet ahead. Jake's heart was hammering in his chest. With every step, he kept expecting something to grab his ankle or reach out from the graves beside them. Every statue looked wrong now, like they turned just slightly when no one was looking. Ryan gasped behind them. "The car's not here." "What?" Jake yelled. "It's not where we left it." They emerged into a clearing, the spot where they'd first parked, but the SUV was gone. Vanished. Not moved. Not stolen. Just gone. Tyler spun in circles. "We didn't go that far." "It should be right here." Ryan's voice broke. "Where?" "Not just lost. We're trapped." Then the dragging sound came again. Closer. A low whisper followed it. The same voice they'd heard earlier, only now it was clearer. Like it was speaking to them. Jake turned to Olivia. "You okay?" She shook. Her head, tears in her eyes. It's not letting us go. What's it? Olivia stared behind him. Look. He turned. Standing at the edge of the clearing, partially behind a leaning gravestone, was a figure tall, thin, wearing a dark, old-fashioned suit like something from 100 years ago. Its skin was gray, dry-looking, cracked. Its face wasn't fully there. Just two deep eye sockets and a faint suggestion of a mouth. No nose, no expression. Just a blank stare that somehow felt full of hate. It didn't move. It just watched. Jake's mouth went dry. Back into the trees, he whispered, now quietly. They turned and moved, fast but careful, staying low. The whispering picked up again as they moved, but this time it sounded closer, all around them, like it was circling. Tyler's flashlight came back on with a flicker and instantly lit up something on a nearby tree. A handprint pressed into the bark, deep, human-shaped, but too big. Way too big. And burned into the wood like it had been there for years. They ran. Blind panic now. No sense of direction. Just a need to move, to get out. Then Ryan tripped. He slammed into the ground with a yell, his flashlight bouncing into the brush. Jake and Tyler turned to help him up, and that's when Olivia screamed. They spun. Behind them, the figure was there again, closer now, 10 feet away, still not moving, still staring, but something was different. It was smiling. No lips, no teeth. Just a deep crease where its face had stretched. It wanted them to see it. Ryan scrambled up. I'm done. I don't care where the car is. I'm running till I hit a road. Go, Jake shouted. They ran. This time no more looking back. Just trees flying past, branches whipping their arms, roots trying to trip them. The graveyard felt endless, like every turn brought them right back to where they started. But finally, somehow, the iron archway appeared in the distance. The entrance. They made it. The wind roared around them as they broke through the gate, out, onto the road, and there 20 yards up was Tyler's SUV, sitting there, just like they left it, exactly where it should have been. Like it had never moved. They piled in. Doors slammed. Tyler floored it. None of them looked back. But as they sped away, Jake glanced in the side mirror just once, and standing at the gate, half hidden by the shadows, was the figure, still watching, still smiling, like it knew something they didn't. They didn't say much on the drive home. Everyone sat stiff. Silent, eyes forward, afraid to speak the thing they were all thinking. Something was wrong. The cemetery wasn't just haunted. It was hungry. Tyler drove way over the speed limit, hands locked at 10 and 2. He didn't blink for miles. Every time he looked in the rearview mirror, he expected to see something in the back seat. A face, a shadow, something watching. Jake sat beside Olivia in the back. She hadn't spoken since they left the gates of Greenridge. Her lips were pale. Her hand trembled in his. Are you okay? He whispered. She nodded, then shook her head. Ryan was up front, holding his phone like a dead thing. It still wouldn't turn on. Neither would Tyler's or Olivia's. Only Jake's seemed to work, but the battery drained 30% every minute. Even on airplane mode. No one had any footage. No photos, just memories they wished they didn't have. They dropped Olivia off first. Her house was dark. She didn't even wait for them to drive off, just ran up the steps and locked the door behind her. No wave. No good night. Then Ryan. He said nothing, just opened the door and left. Finally, it was just Tyler and Jake. "Staying over?" Tyler asked. Voice low. Jake shook his head. "Nah, I need to just sleep in my own bed." Tyler nodded. "Yeah, right, text me." Jake didn't. When he got home, the house felt off, colder than it should have been. He checked the thermostat. It was fine, but the air had a weight to it. Like the cemetery had followed him inside. He locked every door, closed every blind, left all the lights on, but something still didn't feel right. In the bathroom mirror, he thought he saw a shape behind him. Just for a second, a shadow in the hallway. When he turned, it was gone. He didn't sleep, not really. Just lay there, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything. The statue, the whispering, the fresh grave, the figure. When the sun came up, he thought maybe things would feel better, but they didn't. Single quotes T. And then Olivia called. Her voice was quiet, flat. "Jake, you need to come over." He was at her house in 15 minutes. She didn't speak until they were sitting in her room. Door closed. "It's not over," she said. Jake felt his stomach drop. "What do you mean?" "I didn't sleep last night," she whispered. There were sounds in the walls, knocking, like scratching. "I thought I was imagining it until I went into the kitchen." She showed him a picture on her phone. A handprint burned into the ceiling above her sink. Same size, same shape as the one they'd seen on the tree in the cemetery. Jake didn't know what to say. "It followed us," she said. "Or maybe it let us go because it knew it could find us again." Later that day, Ryan sent a group text. "Guys, something's outside my window, tall, not moving, just watching." No one responded. An hour later, he sent another. "It's gone, but I heard it whisper my name." Then nothing. By evening, Tyler called Jake. His voice was shaky. "Bro, I've been feeling like someone's standing behind me all day. In the bathroom, in the hallway. I even thought I saw something in the rearview mirror when I parked." Jake was already pacing. Same, and Olivia too. "Something followed us." Tyler lowered his voice. "I went to check the back of my SUV, the dirt in the trunk. It's not mine. There's claw marks in it." Jake stopped cold. "You think we brought something back? In the car?" That night, Olivia texted Jake again. A photo. It was a blurry image of her mirror. In the reflection, something tall and dark stood in her hallway, just barely visible. No face, just that faint, horrible shape. Then she texted, "Jake, do you hear whispering in your house?" He did. It was faint, but it was there. Coming from the closet. Jake walked to it, phone in hand, not recording, just listening. He reached for the handle and stopped. He didn't open it. He left the house instead. Drove to the edge of town. Just sat in a parking lot with all the lights on, breathing hard. He didn't go back until sunrise. The closet was empty. But the handprint was there now, on the wall, just above his bed. For the next few days, it got worse. Ren stopped answering texts. Tyler's dog went missing. He found the back door wide open, even though he swore he locked it. Olivia's bathroom mirror shattered in the middle of the night for no reason. No sound, no vibration. Just exploded. By the end of the week, they weren't just scared. They were being watched. Jake tried everything. Sage, salt, sleep with the lights on, leave the house. Nothing worked. Every time he blinked, he thought he Saw it again standing behind a tree or in the shadows of a hallway. No face. Just watching. Then one night, Jake had a dream. He was back in Greenridge Cemetery, standing over that open grave. Only this time it wasn't empty. It had a mirror in the bottom. And in the reflection, he didn't see himself. He saw the figure, standing behind him, smiling. He woke up screaming. The next morning, a message was carved into the glass of his bedroom window. You left the gate open. Jake doesn't talk to the others anymore. He moved across the country. No contact. No social media. But sometimes, late at night, he still hears it. That low whisper. The sound of dirt shifting. And in the back of his mind, he knows something followed them out of that cemetery. It didn't want to be seen. It wanted to escape. And now it's looking for the next open door.